Hey guys, Mah Dry Bread here with another one of these Q&A videos. I'm gonna try and keep this one quick because I just recorded this video for 25 minutes and I thought it came out pretty well. And it turns out that I forgot to turn my soundboard on, so my microphone wasn't turned on. That's something I'm gonna have to get used to with the new microphone because it has to go through a soundboard. If you guys want your answers... Fuck, I'm out of it. If you guys want your questions to be answered live, check out the description to find the link to the Facebook fan page post where you can comment and I'll answer your questions on this. Alright, Thomas asks, have you ever played a Fire Emblem game, and if not, would you do it for the show? Yes, I've beaten Fire Emblems 1 through, I think it's 12, all the way from the first game to Shadow Dragon I've beaten. Haven't played... Well, I also beat some of the spin-offs. I almost beat Gaiden for NES, and I beat the GameCube one, but not the Wii one. I played through most of that and got bored. Huge fan of the Fire Emblem series. I played the first 6, mind you, were all in Japanese. I had English ROMs for those. Although the first time I beat 5, which is my favorite one, I beat it before I knew how to translate the ROMs. So I actually beat that in Japanese, mostly through trial and error, figuring out what menu options do what. So that was actually quite difficult. But the numbers are still all in, like, actual, like, English numbers, like, Arabic numbers, I guess you would call it. So that's nice. So yeah, and would I ever do it for the show? I toyed with the idea, like, 3 years ago of doing a stage-by-stage walkthrough of Fire Emblem 5. But it would take a lot of time, so maybe I'll do it in the future. Laura asks, did anyone ever bully you? In grade 9 they bullied me, but early in grade 10 they stopped, because that's when I started becoming really outspoken and blunt, basically. And it's also when I started looking really scary to them, because again, I haven't cut my hair since grade 8. It's like almost down to my hip now, so I had really long and kept hair. I already had facial hair, I had my leather jacket, and because of my elder stand low, so I can't tell very well on the camera, but I have permanent purple bags under my eyes and very white skin. So I looked really scary to them, so they started backing off that, and because I would flat out insult them back while laughing and smiling, which they fucking hate, it genuinely hurts them. So there you go. Next question, and I still can never read this one right. Michael says, were you a console spelt wrong gamer, or were you a PC gamer at first? And he's got a icon of PewDiePie bro fisting. What he's trying to ask, I think, is were you a console gamer first or a PC gamer? PC gamer. I have always been a PC gamer, and I've played a shit ton of consoles. Don't get me wrong, look, when I was born I already had an NES, because my NES is older than me and it still works. And I have PlayStation 3, and I have like every Nintendo console but the Wii U, which I still need to get. I've always played a lot of console games, but I'm still PC gamer. That's where most of the games I'm interested in are. Christine asks, what is your fave Pokemon if you have one? I'm guessing she didn't watch the earlier videos, because I answered this one already, but it's Drowsy or Hypno. They kind of take the same slot for me. Kimmo asks, fun questions, which is more evil, EA or Machinima? P.S. Thanks for the compliment in the last Q&A. That actually reminds me of some news that I said at the beginning of this video last time I recording, but I forgot now. I want to say Machinima, because, you know, I want to rectify something. You know, before I said, like, they're really bad, but I think they're doing stuff to make themselves better. Well, today news came out that they did a huge sweeping, overhaul of a bunch of people's fucking accounts. They went ahead without consent or even telling people that they started adding mid-roll ads to everyone's videos. I so far heard from Northern Lion and Allsham Nowow on it. Go check out Allsham Nowow, by the way, he's amazing. They're pretty fucking pissed. They had 1-hour videos that they added 7 to 9 mid-roll ads in, just so Machinima could get more money. That is disgusting. That's having 9 commercial breaks in a 1-hour show, is what that's equivalent of. That is awful. And there's nothing they can do about it so far as I know. And they weren't even told about it, and they didn't get their permission asked. This just happened. This was forced on them. Fucking horrible. Like, I don't even mind mid-roll ads if it's like 1 mid-roll ad per half an hour or hour. Well, that's fine. It's like one little 30-second advertisement for another half an hour or hour of content. For 1 hour to have 9 mid-roll ads is inexcusable. For an hour to have more than 3, I would be pretty mad. God, that's upsetting. fucking pisses me off. And you can't just turn on ad block, because then the person's not getting paid for their hard work, because Machinima was an asshole. But even after all that, I still have to say EA is more evil. They've ruined so many good game series. I mean, they're the reason that the Ultima series died, the grandfather of the PC RPG. Bob asks, how's life? It's fine. I wish people would just stick to answering or asking real questions. Kimo asks again, I've read your post about advising people to leave the USA, and I just would like to know how grim the future of the USA has in your perspective. My personal interaction with Americans has been below average overall. In fact, a lot of them come off as assholes to me. I'm a bit slow when it comes to learning about world issues, and how good or bad has the USA been up until this point since 2000 exactly. I want to know the true extent so I can be ready for the future and know what to do. Postscript, I have never paid much attention to politics and junk, that's why I'm a bit slow. It is a hard question to answer. I live in Canada, of course, but you know me, I keep up really, really obsessively on history, geography, and, of course, like, world politics. And how, like, the trends of countries in the world and how they've been going. Ever since 2002, since 9/11, nationalism has been a horrendous issue in the United States. There are some really nationalistic, jingoistic bastards that do some pretty disgusting things. It's in every country, you get a little bit of it, but it's fucking huge in the US. Another thing I want to point out is, like, you say, like, how, like, I advertise people to leave the USA because I think that the country is going in the gutter, not because I don't like the people. I think that, like, it's one of those things of they're assholes in the States, but then again, they're assholes in every country. The ratio might be a little bit worse in the States than a lot of countries, but there's still way more good people than there are bad people as far as I'm concerned. I just wish the good people would go to a better place to live. The economy's in the toilet. The disconnect between the non-religious and the religious has gotten more violent, on the religion side at least, which is to say that because there are so many less religious people in the States now, the people who are really religious are getting really violent, like the Westboro Baptist Church, who are banned from entering any Commonwealth country, by the way. Like, they're not allowed, if you're a member of the Westboro Baptist Church, you're not allowed in Canada. Because you're a psycho if you're in that church. Or you were indoctrinated. Poor fucking children that get indoctrinated into that shit. It's disgusting. They protest soldiers' funerals. If the soldier was gay, they'll protest his funeral with signs that say God hates fags. That's fucked up. And of course, United States, they still have, like, their politics is still heavily ingrained in religion. It's not freedom of religion when... Okay, here's something I want to point out that a lot of people don't seem to get. And I'm not even saying, like, religious people don't get that. Most religious people, I think, get this in the States. But for any of you who don't, if you're watching this video, if you vote for the next president of the United States of America based largely on they are putting through policies that are in line with your religion, that is flagrantly in the face of freedom of religion. That you'd vote for that. That's disgusting. Like, if you're voting for Mitt Romney because he was outwardly saying, like, he's... You know, he had part of his ad campaign was that gay marriage would not be legal with Mitt Romney, and you were voting for him because your holy book says no gay marriage, that's really fucked up. You're forcing your religion on the entire country at that point. You're making other people suffer because your holy book that they don't believe in says you can't do that. It's their life, not yours. You're forcing your religion on everyone else. That's not freedom of religion. That's just fucked up. So any of you out there who voted entirely based on stuff like that, don't fucking do that. You're making people suffer because of that. Like, if Obama's gonna make it legal for gay marriage, which he already has in a lot of states have made it legal, fucking finally, then... You don't have to marry someone of the same gender of you. You don't need to participate in gay marriage. So don't. Let them do it if that's their prerogative. God. The cheek of some people. I want to point something out, by the way. The United States is like the only first world country in which the politicians will appeal to religion. In most of the Commonwealth, if a candidate starts trying to appeal to the religious, the non-religious just laugh it off and say like that's stupid. They basically just like not the religion part is stupid. They say like, "Oh my god, you're trying to appeal to religion? How about you appeal to like the economy or like trying to fix things instead of just saying, but God said to do this." Fuck off. And the religious people hate it too over here, and in like any of the Commonwealth, the religious people hate it because they're like, you're just pandering to me. You're trying to get me to vote for you entirely because I'm the same religion as you. No, I want to vote for you because you're gonna do what's right for the country. So yeah, the United States is like the only place where they can get away with that. But there's a trend towards that not working now, which I appreciate. Like that gay marriage campaign online for Mitt Romney, where it had the couple that are like, Obama's trying to make gay marriage legal. Well, that's not what I voted for. That video got so much hate, and I'm really happy that it's taking a turn for that. That bigotry is finally going away. But anyways, I'm rambling wildly. Basically what I'm saying, every country should take after Sweden, or Denmark, or Norway. Basically any of the Scandinavian countries, they do everything better. Like, the economy in Canada is not that good either. The economy in the States is garbage. There aren't enough jobs. The jobs aren't paying enough. People are in a horrible poverty. There's a huge disconnect between the rich and the poor, which is absurd. Like, look at Sweden. Education's free. Why would education be free? Well, first of all, because education is one of the most important things for a population of people. It's one of the most important things for mankind, is for people to be able to be, like, educated and know what they need to know to progress with their lives and make rational decisions so that other people don't suffer and so that they do things well. But on top of that, if your post-secondary education is free, if college and university is free, that means that when you come out of college or university, you don't have horrible debts and loans if you were able to afford it in the first place, by the way. If your parents happen to be wealthy enough to afford it, you won't have debts and loans because it was free, which means you can then start up a business, which then creates more jobs and stimulates the economy. In the United States or Canada, you paid money to go to college, and if you don't have enough left over from that, then you can't start a business. You just gotta go work for someone else. But how the fuck are you gonna do that? Because no one's hiring. And the people who are hiring, the very few people who are hiring, because there's so many people to pick from, they're really, really picky. Oh god, the whole thing is horrible. But in the Scandinavian countries, this isn't really a problem. That's why the economies are so good there. That's why the people are so good, they are so happy there. Like, look at Sweden. It's so high up on the human happiness index. It's one of the happiest countries in the world. Well, the economy there is great, so people aren't afraid of poverty. If you were to be in poverty, then the government would give you a home and help you get a job to get you back on your feet, so they're not afraid of that. They're not afraid of starvation because they can feed you and well, you get back on your feet and start paying for yourself again. The healthcare is free, so if there's an accident, you don't need to be afraid of, oh no, I can't afford sick leave, or I can't afford, to get this hand grafted back on after it was buzzsawed off. No, the healthcare is free. It has the highest atheist population in the world at 82%, so they're not afraid of death. They're not afraid of going to hell. And they don't think that there has to be some kind of divine reward to be a good person. They can just be a good person because they want to be a good person, and because it feels good to be a good person. The same reason why I try to be nice to people, and the same reason why I try and make people happy. Because I like to make people happy. I'm atheist. I don't believe I'm gonna get anything out of it in the end. When I die, I'm not going to get rewarded for being a good person. Being a good person is its own reward. Fuck. Sorry, I went into a rant there again. Again, it's nothing against religious people, it's just, I've had a lot of religious people simply not understand my stance on it, where they say, like, what's the point of being a good person if you don't have God to tell you to be? And I was like, that's really sociopathic. Are you telling me that if you didn't have God, you'd be, like, raping people? Like, that's really fucked up. That's really self-indicts you, doesn't it? And then other people will say, like, what's the point of living if there's no heaven? I was like, it's not that we don't have a point in living, it's that we have no point in dying. Like, when you die, you think you're gonna get a reward. When I think I die, I'm gone. Forever. I have no reason to die. I don't want to die, but I'm not afraid of death, because that's just the natural thing that happens. So, enjoy your time while you're here and make other people enjoy it along with you. Whatever. I'm going wildly off topic. Basically, what I'm saying, everyone on Earth, move to Scandinavia. Any given country there. You'll be doing better off than wherever you were before. Anyway, Daniel asks, Mah Dry Bread, would you perform Hypno's Lullaby for us in a separate video? I haven't heard you do impressions or anything. I don't think you really have. But, I would love to see a version even creepier and more disturbing than the original. I would love to do that, actually. I think that would be a lot of fun. In fact, I might do that sometime soon, now that you suggested it. However, when you say, I haven't heard you do impressions, I don't think you really have. I don't know if you watch anything other than the creepypasta. A lot of people only watch the creepypasta. Only 3% of people watch anything but the creepypasta. But, yeah, my Let's Plays, I do impressions and impersonations and stuff all the time. In fact, if you go back and watch my old Legacy of Goku and Boo's Fury Let's Plays, we voice acted those entire games badly, and while impersonating the characters. A different Daniel asks, I'm thinking of writing a creepypasta for your show, but I don't want to do Pokemon. Any suggestions for something creepy that could help me brainstorm? I'm happy you don't want to do Pokemon, because as much as I like the Pokemon creepypasta, and it gets me the most views, of course, which is kind of undeniable, I'm so sick of just reading Pokemon creepypasta. 90% of people who write in stories are just writing in Pokemon ones. I want some variety in the video games they pick. I can't really help you brainstorm. I don't have any ideas off the top of my head on it, but if you check out the forum, talk to people there, I bet you they'll help you. And the same person also asks, have you considered doing a Let's Play on Diablo 3? No, because the only time I ever played Diablo 3 was I streamed it for 3 hours on the day it came out, and it sucked. It was so boring and so terrible and so lame. It didn't feel like Diablo. The skill system sucked. Everything about it was so boring and fucking lame. I've heard it changed a lot since then, but I just don't want to give it another chance. It sucked. If you want to know, the people who made Diablo 1 and 2 are making the series Torchlight right now on Steam. Torchlight 2, go buy it. It's like $20. It goes on sale all the time for $5. It's awesome. The music is awesome. The gameplay is awesome. The art style is awesome. The classes are awesome. The setting is awesome. It is an amazing game. Go buy it immediately. Play it with your friends online. That's it for this condensed version. I managed to do it in 7 less minutes last time, and I still rambled. I'm just really happy it actually recorded me this time, because I forgot to turn on the soundboard last time. That was frustrating. I desperately need to eat something and get on with my day, because I'm recording with Shally and What a Geek soon. So again, if you want to ask any questions for me to answer live on the show, check out the description. You'll find the link to the Facebook fan page where you can comment to get your question answered live on the next episode of the Q&A. Until next time, have a nice day.